Hello and welcome to our special series, The Budget of Hope. Today here in Jaipur, we are with a series of women entrepreneurs. Jaipur is known for its rich craft tradition, and interestingly, a lot of women have actually promoted this craft and made it into a successful business. In fact, we are here at a very iconic store. It's called Ratan Textiles. The story of Ratan Textiles is really actually very interesting. It started as a small boutique, as a homegrown enterprise. Today it's a huge export business, and 3 generations of women are running this enterprise. So what do women want from the budget? Not just women who are women entrepreneurs or business women, but women in the service industry. First and foremost, I have with me Savita Jain ji. It's such a pleasure to welcome you. Thank you so much for joining us on this conversation in NDTV. Savita ji is the person who started Ratan Textile. Savita ji, आपने कैसे शुरू किया? घर से शुरू किया और आज हम देख रहे हैं कि इतना बड़ा बिजनेस बन गया है जो रंगाई, छपाई और एक तरह से जो रिसाइकलिंग होती है गारमेंट्स की, उसका एक उदाहरण बन गया है
ये बहुत छोटे से बिजनेस से मैंने चालू किया था। मुझे बचपन से ही शौक था प्रिंटिंग का और कशीदा सिलाई वगैरह का, इसलिए मैंने ये चालू किया था।
तो जब आपने शुरू किया सिर्फ घर में थे और कितने कारीगर थे उस टाइम आपके पास?
नहीं, मेरे पास कोई कारीगर भी नहीं था और घर में सब मेरी हेल्प करते थे, मदर इन लॉ, फादर इन लॉ, इसलिए मुझे इसको बना करने का वो मिला।
और आज आप देखते हैं कि इतना बड़ा बिजनेस बन गया है जो एक्सपोर्ट भी कर रहा है, और आपके सिर्फ बेटियां ही नहीं, आपकी बहुएं ही नहीं, आपकी ग्रैंड डॉटर्स भी इसमें जुड़ गई है। तो कैसा लगता है आपको आज?
बहुत अच्छा लगता है। मेरी ग्रैंड सन्स और ग्रैंड डॉटर्स एंड मेरी सब बहुएं सब इसी बिजनेस में आ गई है, इसलिए बहुत अच्छा लगता है
जी। So that really is the entrepreneurship, the entrepreneurial spirit of women in Jaipur. Now I have with me Raghushri Podar, who is the chairperson of FICCI Flow. Raghushri, we've seen that Jaipur actually has a very strong entrepreneurial spirit, and we see a lot of women are starting out businesses. What do you think the government needs to do to promote more of this industry?
Thank you for inviting me. And the main thing which I have realized with the time is, जैसे आपने concept डाला कि make in India, why not make by Indian women and create a cluster, industrial cluster. And अगर ये cluster if done very well, we can have an organization which promotes and make trade fairs where only entrepreneurs of Rajasthan or all over India you can promote and make it a brand called Made by Indian Women, and creating this cluster, taking it forward ahead and giving subsidies to women. You know, women traveling for fairs is not easy. Most of the time they depend on men. I believe there are 2 concepts which women in India is lacking is, one is that the men pushing them, but let's push them ahead by giving them more opportunities, making trade fairs only made by women products. So this would take us way ahead. Second point which I feel is that sometimes the women doesn't know about loan and banking. So digitally, when we were surveying, 50% women have no idea they are directors or they are partners or they are proprietors in the company. So once they know their power and right, they can rise more further. So the education is just not being literate about doing BA, MCom or something, but being literate about their financial power also.
Let me just move to Pooja now. Pooja, so let me tell you that Pooja runs a very interesting enterprise. It's a offshoot of Ratan, which is textile. She's into handmade paper products. So not only are you, Pooja, conserving a dying craft and a dying tradition, but you also employ a lot of women. What are the benefits or incentives you would look for from the government, because we are calling it Budget of Hope and we're looking specifically at what women want?
So basically, we do handmade recycled paper. Now for recycled paper, it is made from cotton waste, and we don't cut trees for that. And that is converted into products and various other things. Now,
so it's a green industry also?
Yeah. And it's totally recycled. The handmade paper can again be recycled. There's no plastic waste and nothing in that. Earlier, before GST, there was no VAT on handmade paper industry. But now, unfortunately, there is 18% GST on handmade paper and handmade paper products. How will this industry survive with such a high GST in front of mill paper? Wherever handwork is involved, automatically the cost of the product goes high. And ऊपर से you have that 18% GST also. GST percentage is same on the mill paper and handmade paper. So how will it sustain?
Right.
That's the thing. So what I'm looking
so
for...
rationalizing GST rates, I think that's
yeah,
what you're saying.
if not like zero, like a minimal GST of 5% is what I think government should...
And right now it's at
think
18%, you said.
Yeah, it's at 18%.
So, over to Rimi Shekhawat. Dr. Rimi Shekhawat is a well-known professional. Apart from being a working woman, she also runs a hospital with her husband. Rimi, we talked a lot about healthcare. So my first question to you is healthcare in terms of, the private-public partnership. Where the government is looking, and Rajasthan took the lead in that, where the government is looking at bringing in healthcare through involving private hospitals also. But there were many issues and problems with that. How do you see that? What do you expect from the budget in terms of, sort of making healthcare accessible to all?
So thank you, Harsha. Basically, it's been like more than 25 years and I have been like a graduate from SMS Medical College, Rajasthan. So I'm seeing so many, if we are talking about female entrepreneurship, so being in the medical profession, dedicating 10 prime years of your life into it and coming out and facing the business in such a, you can say, squeezed out atmosphere, that is very, very difficult to survive. So it becomes very difficult to run a good hospital with ultra modern advanced technologies, instruments, all the expertise, definitely in the private sector. So I would definitely suggest that doctors should also be taken into consideration. They are also the voters. They are also the
But what do you want from the government? What do you think the government should do?
The government should give subsidies and also all sorts of loan facilities. Basically, the budget has been curtailed at many places. I would say for getting the loans and getting the finance, that is also like very much crammed up conditions. In case if I'm talking about the lady doctors, then definitely there should be some special, you can say, budget allocation to them because once they come out with their professional degrees, they need to open up their setups, and for that they need a lot of finance. And for that, if government can allocate something, especially for them, that will be very, very good.
You're looking at a lot of young entrepreneurs starting out. So your name, please. And what you were talking to me about how purchasing power has actually become, a challenge because, because of the way the economy is going. So just introduce yourself. She's third generation working in Ratan Textiles. Introduce yourself and tell us what do you want from the budget?
Okay, so I'm Vedika and I recently happened to come back to Jaipur to my business, and I think that's the best move I've taken so far because it's been a legacy that has been carrying on for so long, so why miss the opportunity? And while I came back very recently, what I understood, like, if supposing today the GST bracket in our industry is 5 to 12%, so ultimately you're charging the customer for it, right? So if you can just reduce the entire bracket to 5% altogether, so ultimately if more people are buying your products, the government is going to get the benefits any which ways. But if the tax is higher, so people don't purchase as much. And apart from that, back in 2022, the repo rate was around 4%, and now it's 6.5. So there is not enough power in the hands of the consumers ultimately to spend as much as they could. So I feel that is where a rectification can be made.
We have two more ladies with us. They are both working in a very niche sector, which is the handicraft sector. And it's not just handicraft, actually. It's even more niche than that, I would say, Priyamvada and Shivani. So what they're doing is they're promoting and preserving a very ancient craft tradition, which is Araish. But, since they're not even enough skilled labor, they also train and skill people to take on this craft and work at it, and then so you preserve a dying craft, give it a new impetus, and also create products out of it, which is a business. So Priyamvada, Priyamvada Golecha, first to you, what do you expect from the government to do specifically for a sector like yours? And we are talking about these sectors because these are really sectors which are very much, working in the economy. You can find them here in Jaipur especially because Jaipur itself has such a rich craft tradition.
So just give a little introduction on Araish. It's traditionally done on walls. It's lime plaster. So traditionally all our homes were made of lime, but after independence barely any homes were made in lime. And it's a dying tradition because most homes are made of cement today. So we've lost a very traditional building skill. So when Shivani and I met, we thought it'd be very interesting to bring something that's done on walls to a terracotta object, so it becomes a piece that can be carried around. So something that's limited to buildings gets transferred onto products, so it becomes transferable.
What are the kind of incentive support that you would require from the government? Because not only are you working in a very niche industry, there's a lack of skilled labor in that particular industry.
I think craft is a very unique manufacturing opportunity that India has, and it has to be treated as every other sector. So we need skill building. The craft that we work in is a very endangered craft. So skill building is very important to us. So we have to identify our master crafts people. We have to find people who want to get trained in a certain craft. So the government will have to build initiatives so that people are lured to learn a craft and take it forward, and then the industry has to step in to create lucrative job opportunities so people see potential in carrying forward a craft.
This product that you have created, now the labor component in this entire industry is very important. You don't have labor, enough labor, you're skilling the labor. What do you expect from the government in terms of, do you expect tax holidays, or like you were saying that you would expect the government to actually hold workshops so that you can skill this, and they should provide incentives for that?
So yeah, the master craftsmen who are around, the few that are around, maybe they need to, be helped by the government.
So they can pass
so
on
that
their
they can
craft.
pass on their knowledge and craft to the the younger generation and people who are interested in doing this work. So not very many people are interested in doing this work because it's labor intensive, it's time consuming.
Skill building programs is very important. So we have to identify our master crafts people. And we have to find people either from the traditional families who still want to learn the crafts of their fathers and grandfathers, or people beyond the traditional communities who want to learn the craft because they have a keen interest in it. And the government has to give stipends to these master craftsmen for training other people and people who are interested in getting skilled, to create a program where they can earn a decent livelihood, and then they can be absorbed by industry.
You were also talking about how you're planning to train women to even do miniature art.
Yes, so the other project I work on is Khanum, which is ceramics and miniature painting. So we're working with very traditional pottery, and we're working with miniature painting and bringing these two skills together, which was never done in the past. And traditionally, miniature painting was only done by men in the karkhanas. Women didn't traditionally practice it. But now in the studio, we have a lot of men who are interested in training their daughters. So we've got a lot of women coming to the studio, and it's a whole training program that we are setting up so that women can partake on this craft.
So skilling women, I think maybe the government should step in and give, what you're saying is incentives for that, to skill women is what we're talking about. Also for someone who runs, an export business, so I have Sapna with me, who's very much, very much part of the Ratan family. Sapna, for someone who runs a very successful export business, what do you expect from the government to help you in terms of exports?
Okay, so procuring raw material is a big problem for us, like the yarn, which is like what we get in India. It is more expensive than what is being exported. Like to Bangladesh especially, they get a rebate of like 5%. So what we procure in India, it's more expensive. So the final product which comes out to be more expensive than the neighboring countries. Though people are going like for production and all, they go to our neighboring countries just to make the final production thing, ordering in India instead of they go to the neighboring countries. So our export, like what we expect कि हमारे को ज़्यादा orders मिलेंगे, it's just passing on to the neighboring countries.
Yeah, I think that's
because of the fabric cost.
Yeah, that's a very important point. Rashmi, I just want to bring it to you now, toss it to you. So what she said is very important. A small little country like Bangladesh is doing much better than us on exports. Somewhere do you think there is also a need to skill and rationalize the labor laws and have more skilled labor?
Thank you, Harsha. Yeah, I definitely think that we really need to rationalize a lot of labor laws and also skill as far as women are concerned. Because I am like closely working with women, especially from the rural sector, and I really believe that they have a lot of creativity and they have a lot of scope of coming to the forefront if their opportunities are provided to them. But since the government, the policies are not so clear, I guess, to the women of this sector. So I believe that if the policies are brought to the forefront in a more simplified manner, then the women can really, step out and they can contribute to the family's expenses, giving them a lot of confidence and, making very useful, like creating things which we miss on generally because, less of women are there on the workforce.
So
And
I would like to in fact put that question to you, Apra, because what she said, since you are with various industry bodies, you were asking me, so my very technical, I mean, I'm technical, it's a very sort of a technical question in that sense. Women are stepping into the workforce. What do you think women need? Because you're representing industry bodies, but you're also representing the women who are working in that industry.
Thank you, Harsha. So, yes, absolutely, women are stepping into the workforce and we are very hopeful about the budget, and I'm sure women also are very, very hopeful because it's going to be the first budget after the Lok Sabha elections, and, there are, the finance minister somehow has created that kind of a buzz in the interim budget also, whether it's the Mudra scheme or it is the health cover under the Ayushman Bharat scheme, women are actually needing more. So yes, they definitely need more access to finance incentives. They need more kind of information about what is available and where. So whether it's the Startup India or whether it is the Women Economic Platform, the WEP, or there are these Atal incubators. So they need more information that कहाँ पर क्या चीज़ है, what is available where, because I write a column for startups in a national daily every Sunday. You will be very surprised, out of 10 emails I receive, about 7 to 8 emails, they ask basic questions like, we do not have finance, how do we begin? So every time, I tell them that there is a lot available, but that information is somehow not kind of, gone in the right manner. They also need better healthcare and medical facilities. So whether it is the cervical cancer vaccination available free of cost, because if we prepare them physically, if we prepare them to be physically very, very strong, emotionally and mentally, women are the strongest, I mean, I can take that liberty to say this, that yes, they are considered more strong. So yes, they can just step out and do lots and lots of things. So whether it is in the Anganwadis or there are, these ASHA workers, they need better health cover. They also need the income tax slabs to be absolutely competitive, and there are certain kind of incentives which should be only be available for the women.
I think that's a very important point, because for women it's not just economics, it's also about empowerment. उन्होंने जैसे बताया, आपका नाम बताइए?
मेरा मीना शर्मा. नमस्ते मैम.
नमस्ते मीना जी. ऐसे जो महिलाएं, आप पहली जनरेशन की महिला होंगी जो अपने घर से बाहर आके नौकरी कर रही हैं. जो नौकरी करने की जो महिलाएं हैं, उसमें से आपको क्या चाहिए? आप क्या चाहते हैं सरकार से? जो आप जैसे कि टैक्स कम हो या महंगाई पे, या और क्या सुविधा आप चाहते हैं टैक्स से, क्योंकि सरकार से, क्योंकि अब बजट आने वाला है.
जी नमस्ते मैम. मैं ये चाहती हूँ सरकार से कि एक तो महंगाई कम की जाए, और बहुत ज़्यादा महंगाई बढ़ा है, सिलेंडर के दाम बढ़ जाते हैं तो घर का चलाना मुश्किल हो जाता है, बजट बिगड़ जाता है, सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट इतना होता है. तो सरकार से रिक्वेस्ट है कि हमारी महंगाई कम की जाए और डॉक्टर फैसिलिटी अच्छी की जाए, और बच्चों को पढ़ाने के लिए भी कुछ फीस वगैरह जो हाई होती है वो थोड़ा लो किया जाए.
Everybody is not a businesswoman, and we, in that sense, all of us come from privileged backgrounds. But what is when you have interacted with women, what do you think they need? Like she said something very simple, like cylinder prices can throw an entire budget out of control.
Very right. We did a survey in a Barodia Basti in Bani Park. Out of 100 women, they were working in household. So when they were coming back home, we asked them that how much bank account do you have? Believe me, out of 50 women, 25 knew what is bank account. बोले बैंक थोड़ी जाने देंगे हमारे घर वाले. So the money they are earning, maybe 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, they said that we keep it somewhere hidden, because the male of the family can take it. But if they know that they are able to have a bank account which is not in household women, इसको एक सरकार बहुत गहराई से देखे कि जो ये जो 2 नंबर में कैश दिए जा रहे हैं वो अगर 1 नंबर के खाते में डालें तो उनकी फैमिली और उनको एक सपोर्ट मिलेगा, ब्याज मिलेगा, सेविंग अकाउंट मिलेगा, दे विल अंडरस्टैंड बैंकिंग.
I'm just going to put it to you, Pooja, because you have so many women who are working for you. What are the challenges that you face? Like she said, it's really important in the economy that we link women, the women workforce with banking. There's no question about it.
So I'll tell you, basically in our industry, especially in garment industry, there is like cutting and packaging, especially thread cutting is the area. It's like majorly 80-90% women or 100% women, I think so. So we went to, there is a village nearby, Bassi, and we thought we'll send a bus and get 15-20 ladies and teach them and get them every day and drop them every day. Everything was finalized. But the main thing is that they don't want to step out from their comfort zone to the factory. They want to sit there in their house and do the work. They are okay with that. That hitch is still there. जो गांव की महिलाएं हैं ना, उनमें ये है.
There's a hitch to come out.
That जागरूकता, someone needs to go and tell them and break that ice.
And also
That
tell
is
them
very
that it's
important.
safe to come to work. Like you were saying, you were going to give them a bus, you would bring them to a safe environment and send them back safely. So I think that safety angle is very important. I think we're just running out of time. So now to Rimi. Rimi, we've talked about various things. I think if I were to sum it up, skilling women, making women aware, creating safe work environments, and like she said, link them to banking. Very, very important. Apart from, of course, what the others said about GST, increasing the taxation net and having very niche, looking at niche craft industries. But, from the healthcare perspective, what do you think women want from this budget? Because you have dealt with so many women who are coming into your hospital to access healthcare.
Actually, the thing is that everything has been like very, on the papers it is very lucrative, but on the ground that is the harsh reality. Whatever benefits the females as a patients, especially in the case of mother child care part, they have been allocated almost 5 lakh in a card, but that card has been misused by their family members. Even if they will show something else, they'll take out the money out of that. So basically the direct beneficiary, that female should be, it is not happening on the ground reality. So I would always suggest that whatever is made for them, it should be easily accessible
And directly to them.
Directed to them.
So thank you very much for this very interesting conversation. So I think to sum it up, really what we are coming at is that, the need, of course, this is like I said, we are talking to very successful women entrepreneurs in Jaipur. They've worked with traditional crafts and have made them successful businesses, like where we are sitting. What started as a small domestic enterprise is now a huge export business. Apart from that, we have women who've worked with, niche craft, dying craft traditions. We have representatives from the industry. I think the summing up is that, more skilled labor force. Women are slowly stepping into the labor force. So things like linking them directly with banking, giving them a safe work environment, like what Pooja said, so that more and more people, agree to come out of their homes and work. Like what Apra and the others said, about the taxation net, making GST simpler, and of course making women aware. A lot of women are not aware about the finance that they can get access to start a business. They're also not skilled enough perhaps to pick up jobs. So what you need to do perhaps is work on the human resource. That is the women, that is the Adhi, Abadi. And of course, women have a lot of hope from this budget because remember, the finance minister is also a woman.